first of all, you recently had a meeting with State Senator Joe Negron, President, and he's pushing SB 10, which is pretty much buying up land from a lot of sugar farmers. What's your take on it? Do you support that? I mean,
well, it's not just sugar farmers; it's farmland.
Farmland in general,
everybody.
right?
Yeah, and the second point is he wants to use state dollars on it, and that is a state issue that they should debate. I've told him, and I've said it clearly. It's not that I'm for or against it; it's that there's no federal money for it, because any money we take for that is money we're taking away from all these other projects that we're working on. The other thing I've said to people is, while all this debate is about on one side of the equation, what about the people that live in those communities?
Right.
What about Pahokee? What about those cities in the Glades communities that are going to get wiped out? If you buy up all the farmland, that means there's no farming. That means these cities collapse. They basically turn into ghost towns. Shouldn't they be at the table? Shouldn't they be a part of this conversation as well?
So you wouldn't support federal funding to go if they ask for it?
Not at this time, because first we already have a project. There's already a plan to deal with what's happening in Lake Okeechobee and the water quality and the algae blooms. That plan was designed years ago. It was the plan everybody said we needed to do. We need to fund that part of it first. And after we're done with that, if there's more that needs to be done, then we can examine that. But not, and you can't get two things done at once here. We're going to end up with nothing. And that's been my argument from the beginning, and that's my message to him, and he understood it. We're going to focus here on getting the Everglades restoration plans that are in place and moving forward, that everybody agreed to, in place and moving forward. And once we're done with that, then we'll re-examine it down the road and see if there's more that needs to be done. But I would add that I do believe that it is important that those communities south of the Glades be at the table. Everybody talks about Big Sugar and all these big companies. Those guys are going to be fine either way. Okay. If the government goes in and buys their land through eminent domain, they're going to make hundreds, if not billions of dollars selling their land. So
but
either way,
you don't support eminent domain. You don't support any future land grabs.
But what I'm saying is, if the state went in and said we're going to buy all this land, and they say no, I don't want to sell it, then eminent domain is the only way they can get it. They have a right to institute eminent domain, the state would, under that plan. And these guys will make a killing. So it's not about them.
But you don't support eminent domain in general, right?
Well, for a public purpose, no one is against eminent domain for a public purpose. You need to build a highway or something like that. The eminent domain fights have been when you take private property away and give it to a hotel developer, because you think that's a better use of the land. That I don't support. That was the Kelo decision. But if you take it through eminent domain, these guys are going to make a bunch of money. So they're not going to lose either way. The people who are going to get hurt are the people in those communities that work on those farms and live in those cities that are already struggling with 15-20% unemployment. You buy up all that agricultural land, those places turn into ghost towns. They need to be at the table in this conversation, and they're too often ignored.